Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. This week is rather sparse when it comes to VR news, but there's still plenty of exciting games planned to drop this month, including Alien Rogue Incursion and Wanderer Fragments of Fate. There's some awesome updates for Batman Arkham Shadow, a brand new VR gaming showcase has been announced, and finally I just want to talk about some VR sales figures and quickly discuss just how good VR is getting. Now there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by my long-term sponsor, Kiwi Design. Kiwi makes accessories for all of your favorite VR headsets, but my personal favorite is their Elite head strap. Not only can you make your MetaQuest 3 or 3S much more comfortable, but it also gives you up to 3 hours of extra battery life, and it's much cheaper than Meta's own official product. There's a link in the description to Kiwi Design, and don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 5% off and to help support this channel. Okay, so let's start things off like normal with the check-in, and I have to address the elephant in the room. Why am I facing this direction? Why are you looking at things that you don't normally see? Well, I just redid my entire room. New PC, new paneling on the walls to make the sound better and just jazz up the room a little bit. New monitors. I'm actually loving my monitors, you know, and I actually set up the arcade, which needs some wiring and stuff. There's a lot going on in my basement, and with that new computer, 9800 X3D processor from AMD, and I actually have an RTX 5090 on the way. So I'm going to be doing a lot of PCVR mod testing. That's my plan for the future. But until that happens, until my 5090 is here and plugged in, what I'm actually playing right now is I'm finishing Arkham Age, and I'm just jumping back to some other games that I never fully finished, like Behemoth. So that's where I am now, and that's what I recommend to everybody. It's a little bit of a quiet moment right now. No games releasing for a few weeks. So it's time to jump back into some of those older titles. Maybe check out MetaQuest Plus, which came with your headset if you got one over the holiday, or just, you know, check out an oldie but a goodie. I can't believe to say it's old now, but Asgard's Wrath 2, I love, which actually just stopped getting updates. And I'm rambling at this point, so let's just move on to this week's new releases, which includes 0 games. Sorry. That's right, for the first time in pretty much forever, I have no games on my new release list for this week. But we're only 10 days away from getting Alien Rogue Incursion for the MetaQuest 3, and as someone who thoroughly enjoyed the PlayStation VR 2 version, I'm curious to see how well the game looks and runs on that headset. Now undoubtedly there's going to be some downgrades, but hopefully they're not too significant, and I also really hope that the recent patches that made it to the PC and PlayStation VR 2 versions are available day one on the Quest version. Now as long as Servios doesn't deliver a port like Hitman VR, this should be a very solid Quest title. If you guys want me to do some Quest 3 specific coverage of this game, please let me know down in the comments. Now another game I'm really pumped for is Wanderer Fragments of Fate, which after 15 delays should finally be dropping this month. Now I've spoken about this game about 100 times at this point, so I'm going to keep it brief, but Wanderer offers a very high production level, story-driven time-traveling puzzle adventure. This is a remake of an awesome title that came out 3 years ago, and my expectations remain very high. Now speaking of delays, the shooter that is super hot in reverse, Cold VR, just got its new release date of February 11th. Now I played an early beta version of this title and was definitely impressed, and I love the reverse take on super hot. So instead of enemies only moving when you move, the faster you're moving, the slower the bad guys are going. There's also a pretty trippy storyline and lots of surprises. So again, another game I'm very excited for. Now for the Batman Arkham Shadow fans out there, version 1.3 is here, and it's bringing some awesome updates. You can now start all over again with New Game Plus, and it won't be identical the second time around, as combat encounters will be reworked for your second playthrough. There's also what they're claiming to be infinite combat and Predator challenge maps. So if your favorite part of the Batman game is beating up enemies or sneaking up on them, well now you can do that until your heart's content. There's also quality of life improvements, bug fixes, and even a brand new endgame cutscene. So once I finish up a couple of other games, it looks like I'll be back to donning the cape in no time. Now some other good news for the Batman title is the fact that it recently hit 1 million players. Now in terms of a VR title, this is pretty freaking insane. But I do have to point out the fact that the game is bundled with the Quest 3 and Quest 3S. So this actually reflects how many people bought a MetaQuest 3 or 3S during the holiday season, rather than how successful the Batman game is. Now a more official 1 million sales comes from Meta's Ray-Ban glasses. In 2024, Meta reported that they sold over 1 million of these. And this is the perfect example of something I've been discussing on the channel a lot lately. Meta really wants to move into wearables, or the next computing platform with the use of XR. And the Ray-Ban meta is definitely the way to start the process. They're using the Quest to learn, a lot more about the technology, features, and obviously it's for gaming, but their end goal is a lot more on these wearables. That's why we're expecting to see new Ray-Ban metas in the near future that have a screen in them. And the fact that they're selling this well, a relatively new product that doesn't really have like any serious competition, is a great sign for them and basically shows that it's the right move for the company. And this actually ties right into our next topic, the fact that Meta Reality Labs saw its highest quarterly earnings ever. There is, however, a major caveat here, because in the same quarter, they also spent more money than they ever did in the past, and they're actually looking at a near $5 billion deficit. So spending $6 billion to make a return of $1 billion definitely doesn't sound like some great math to me. But it is, however, all part of Meta's long-term plan, and we're expecting to see the revenue and expenditures switch places within the next 5 to 10 years. Now, I'm sure products like the Ray-Ban Meta will be instrumental in making that happen, and I have my fingers crossed that Meta can pull this off. And now there's just one more topic I wanted to discuss before I end today's video, and that's the fact that we're in this new VR is dead phase for 2025. It happens every year, and I discussed this topic in a full video last week, but what I wanted to say is, if you're here and you didn't enjoy VR in 2024, you didn't enjoy the new hardware, the super cheap entry point of the MetaQuest 3S, games like Metro and Alien Rogue Incursion, Batman Arkham Shadow, Behemoth, if you didn't enjoy all of this, VR is probably not right for you. Maybe you still have a love in your heart for VR, but it's still placed in PC VR or whatever the case may be. So for you, sure, stick to your mods, something I'm going to be focusing on in the near future on this channel, or just wait and see where it is, 3, 4, 5 years from now. Maybe then you'll love it. But like I said, it's going through its growing pains. I'm really happy with where it is. I'm impressed with the quality of games. Batman Arkham Shadow was top tier. I could easily put it next to Half-Life Alyx. I know graphically there's a difference for sure, but how far the Quest has come from when it released and it was laughable to where it is now is a significant step forward. And I think 2025 has the potential to be the biggest year for VR. Let's just see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun ride no matter what. And if you enjoyed this video, you guys know what to do. Give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. As always, I'll see you guys on next time, and I'll have the room fixed up. I won't be pointing this way. Everything will be done. It won't be crap all over my floor. It'll be good. I promise. So see you then.